Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Human beings, yes, we are still looking at the environment and what can men do to help and alleviate the pain within your body, because there's too much of a pain that you hear, the headache, the insomnia, and so many other things that occur in this very serious and excellent heat of what you call climate change and global warming. The environment has a duty, as well as we human beings have a duty and a contribution to make. That contribution that is demanded of human beings is to plant trees. Trees are very, very important to human health well-being, because it's from every tree that men gather either what to eat to put in their stomach. They gather even medicine. They gather perfumes. They gather so many things. And sometimes they gather even birds to benefit from the planting of trees. But birds always, Allah has awarded them a very special guarantee. Because if a bird eats any seed or a fruit, it will carry the seed to the next kilometer, next junction of 1 kilometer from where it ate that fruit. As it drops it, with the Allah will make sure that that seed is about carried a kilometer away from where it ate the fruit, germinates and grows as a new tree. So Allah has guaranteed life to those who are kind and generous, to the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. However, the duty to men and women and children, boys and girls, is that do plant trees, my people. Do plant trees. 50 fruit trees, variety of 50 different trees, and 100 trees every month. If you live under a shade of canopy, a canopy or a shade of canopy of leaves of trees, I think you wouldn't complain. You wouldn't complain of any whatever, because you have, either those trees have very, very high levels of perfumes from their flowers. High levels of perfumes, which makes the breathing kind of softened. Because if you are no trees, if you are to go in a country where there is no trees, enough trees, or anywhere in the planet, other planet as today, men and women always contract diseases of the lungs, hard breathing, because there's a lot of unprocessed gravity electrical elements are metallic elements, but they are what men see as what men are able to kind of look like what you call light. When you look at whatever and are able to see whatever, there is a lot of whatever that hangs over in the upper sky, in the lower sky, as well as on ocean. If it hangs over on ocean, or it enters, if this gravity electro element enters the ocean, or whatever, they will go on the bottom of the ocean, and they will cause what we call they will not be able to be processed, because the oceans are as if they are dead. Because the ecosystem, the environmental ecosystem demands that whatever that these are metallic, whatever, when they lie on the bottom of the ocean, they cannot be processed because the ocean themselves gets blocked up. That's when I suggest that sometime in the future, or starting from whatever you men consume as food, the leftover can easily be dumped in every ocean, whatever, or in a lake, in an ocean. The same way you have what you call fish ponds, where you do farming for fish. You have feed those fish within the pond. If you are to take any leftover of your food, whatever that you throw away all the time, you put incinerators, and you throw that in the ocean, it will have the bacteria within the ocean floor to process these metallic gravity electrometallic elements into something that the sea is able to breathe. But if these metallic gravity elements are blocks of the breathing of the sea, that means they create what we call something like an algae, a green algae. Algae, it contains it produces what we call methane. When the ocean cannot breathe, and there's metallic whatever between the ocean and the upper whatever of the ocean, they produce what we call a gas, and that gas is called methane. And then after producing that gas hangs over on the top of the whatever on the ocean as a greenish algae. That greenish algae produces a gas called methane, similar to methane. Methane is something that men are kind of familiar with. But that deadly methane gas is more flammable than any gas, any whatever that men have ever come across. And on top of that, it contains gravity electrical, very deadly lightable, elements which can catch fire any time, and with that they can cause the congestion of men's unable to breathe. There's so many things that these things do. So what I would suggest that whatever that men and restaurants and whatever food that is left over, get it collected, dump it in the ocean. You go to the ocean and ride about 80 kilometers, 100 kilometers, and dump all the things in the ocean. They'll be able to produce what we call bacteria. The bacteria are able to help the ecosystem, of the ocean to produce whatever, to be able to work out how to reduce what we call, so that the oceans can breathe. Yes, so that the oceans are able to breathe, to help reduce the electrical gravity elements within either on the silt or bottom of the ocean, so that the ocean starts breathing and living, as well as it reduce the whatever within the upper and whatever, the upper sky as well as the lower sky as well as the ocean floor. That way, if you are to plant trees as well as plant trees as well as dumping all the food left over to the ocean, that way every one of you is contributing to the quick recovery to a normal, at least a normal like environmental standards that are able to make men live in good health. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.